guys. Message of the week, your fourth installment.
Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about economic policy. What we've seen over the last 30 years is a hollowing out of the middle class. The middle class is largely dying in this country, and it's because of policies pursued by our economic elites. Tax cuts. A recent Congressional Research Service study showed that tax cuts do not help economic growth. Trade policy. Free trade is not fair trade. Free trade enriches corporations at the cost of ordinary working people. Both parties have been complicit in working to destroy the living standards of ordinary working Americans. And it's time ordinary working Americans woke up and realized that. Inequality has soared, and our economy does not work for ordinary people anymore. And we need to get up and reclaim our political system, reclaim our economic system, and make it work for us, not the elites, not the 1%.
Now, Doc, one thing, make a little mention about that document that the Republicans hid this week.
Well, the Congressional Research Service did a study on tax cuts and whether it helped economic growth or helped create jobs, which is the core centerpiece of the Republican campaign. The study showed that it had no effect on economic growth. You can raise taxes, you can lower taxes. Economic growth is independent of taxes. It's the same thing that Laura DeAndrea Tyson and a guy named Ibiz, who worked for Bain Capital. Laura DeAndrea Tyson worked for the Clinton administration, came up and posted on the Economics blog about 2 weeks ago. Cutting taxes doesn't create jobs, and Americans need to realize that. If tax cuts created jobs, we would be awash in jobs because we've had 30 years of tax cuts. It's simply, there is no empirical evidence. The Congressional Research Service study confirms that. Republicans did everything they could to bury that report, and every person needs to read it. You can get it online at Huffington Post.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you.
Hey, Tara, I understand that you're about to start a radio station or started one. Did you get it going yet?
It's a show. There's already a station. It's locallifehouston.com. It's internet radio. To support the local community, local bands, local musicians, local artists, local ideas. I do stiletto radio right now with Catherine, and she's had the show going. January will be a year. She herself says she doesn't know much about politics, but she's really interested and loves having people on to talk about it, so she's got a real open mind.
So Tara, tell me, how do we get there?
How do we get there?
Yeah, to that internet radio show.
Locallifehouston.com. Just log on and
repeat again.
Locallifehouston.com.
Thank you very much, Tara. How you doing, George? I actually blogged a couple of your things this week. I read that article that you had, the implied article on what 2016 would look like. That was quite interesting. What got you into writing that article?
My experiences in the inner city and how hard it is to educate kids when you don't have the resources or the opportunities that most people have in the suburbs.
So is that something that you are actually working on? I know you're a great supporter here at Our Informational Occupy. Are you going to, going forward after these elections, are you going to work solidly in the school district to try to effect the type of change we've been talking about?
Any school district that wants change will work with any district. I mean, it's an underlying philosophy about how we approach kids and work with discipline in the schools. Discipline in schools right now leads to the school-to-prison pipeline. So we've got to change our underlying philosophies, and we have to change our discipline plans within the schools so that we can change behavior of students before they have to be sent to the office and do all these punitive discipline procedures. Now,
why don't you tell us where your blog is so people can actually see what you are working on at this point in time?
My blog is schooldisciplinemadeeasy.com.
Again, that is?
schooldisciplinemadeeasy.com.
Thank you very much, George. Ben, weekly message, buddy.
Well, we're 3 days away from voting, so one message has to be get out and vote. Second thought is, this past week in New Jersey, we saw a great example of people from both sides of the political world getting together and doing what government's supposed to do, and that is to work. Put aside our political, philosophical differences and do what the people meant government to do, and that is serve the people.
Thank you very much, Kev. Stephanie, tell me a little bit about your feelings about the election.
Okay, well, I'm a little nervous yes, quite frankly. But I will say this, and I just said it here to my friends, that if, and this is an unlikely circumstance, if Romney wins and Republicans take control of the Senate, or maybe even if they don't, the Democrats should step back and let them pass exactly what they said the Republicans have said that they want to do. And only then will the American people realize it. And the policies of the Republicans will be fully discredited, because there is no doubt in my mind that unemployment will soar because of these huge cuts to the federal government. Those are jobs. They are not programs. They are jobs. Jobs that end up helping people. So you can't talk about cutting the federal budget and cutting these programs without talking about massive layoffs. So I would suggest that the Democrats would need to step back and let the Republicans do what they said they were going to do. And after about 2 years, midterm elections come, I think that we will have a resurgent left by that time. I'm saying this fully aware that that's probably not going to happen. But I kind of do wish that that's what they would do.
Thank you very much, Steph.
As at this point, about 26,000 people in Kingwood alone have voted. So that's a pretty significant portion.
Now, what do you think that says about our democracy?
I think that says that people are excited and involved in our process, and they want to be part of that, and they just have to be informed.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
This is Cody Poe running for Texas House of Representatives. This is one of the most important elections of our lives, both on the national scene but on the local scene as well. On the local scene, education is on the table. It looks like school choice or vouchers is going to be pushed in the next legislative session, so we have to have supporters of education to make sure that we keep good schools for our kids to go to. So if you haven't voted yet, this Tuesday is the day. Go vote.
Thank you very much, Cody.